Hi, we're Roxanne and Len, a Canadian retired couple exploring the world and sharing those experiences with you. Come with us in today's video as we explore one of Serbia's natural wonders called Devil's Town, which previously was the sole representative of Serbia in the selection of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Hey everybody, Roxanne and Len on a very early morning. It's about 4:30 in the morning. And we are walking on our way to the bus station. We're going to spend the day going to a place called Devil's Town, and we have to. The only way of getting there is us catching a 5:30 a.m. bus to go to the place called Devil's Town, and then coming back in the afternoon. So we're on our way in Niš here, where we're probably the only people up and around right now. I'm going to flip the camera and show you part of our walk to the bus station here. We're in a nice park along the river. Here we are at about 5 o'clock in the morning at the bus station in Niš. I guess better to be early for your bus than late and miss it. So looks like we're the first people here for our departure bus at 5:30. We're taking the bus from Niš to a place called Prolam Banja, and then we're going to take a taxi from Prolam Banja to a place called Devil's Town. And we'll tell you all about that when we get there. It's quite a unique place. I'm going to flip the camera and give you a picture of what we're looking at here at 5 o'clock in the morning at the bus station. Our bus leaves at 5:30 a.m. and it's about a 2 hour 10-minute ride, 2 hour 20-minute to a place called Prolam Banja, and then we have to catch it back in the afternoon. It departs at 2:10 p.m. back to Niš here, and that's another 2 hour 10-minute ride back here. Here's Roxanne patiently sitting for our bus here. Over on the other side of the fence there, it looks like the city buses are lining up, getting ready for all the people that are going to be heading off to work. And all the inner city buses are not here yet. So we're here at the Devil's Town, Davolja Varos. We came by cab. We're here early, so things are just getting set up. Roxanne's going up to get tickets. Welcome to Devil's Town. There's 2 springs here. This would be water coming from the spring. An old ticket booth here. A very beautiful setting, and it's damp and chilly. There's wooden art as we walk through. That's these black carvings. Up on the hill. It's kind of humid and cold here, and you can see lots of moss. Up here, looks like it's closed. There's a building up there. That almost looks like totem art, totem pole art. Here is a creek that's running next to the path. Here there was Saxon mines that dated back to the 13th century when the Saxons dug iron ore in this region. These mines here also contain copper, lead, zinc, silver, and gold in small quantities. There's 3 mines on the Devil's Town site, of which only one has been investigated, and it's 800 meters in length. And the water running here is highly acidic, and I'm not sure if we'll get to see it or not. There's 2 springs here. It's believed through folklore that the devil enchanted and cast a spell on these waters, and that anyone who drinks these waters will go insane. It's a very nice walk up. You can see how thick the moss is on these trees. It must be a very damp environment. And here we're coming up to a second spring, I believe. No, we're coming up to St. Pekka Church. We're supposed to go left and then come back that way.
Okay.
So, signs directing us to the Devil's Gully, and I can see the Devil's Towers in the background as we get a little closer. People have made little nookshucks on the rocks here. This is a bit of the Devil's Gorge here, smaller part, but I believe we're coming up to it. Bigger section of it up here. It's a steep path as you walk up, And they're giving us some stairs to make the climb a little easier here. And tell you what we've read about these structures. So these are huge columns of rock that have come here or have occurred here because of erosion. But there's folklore to go with these, and the folklore is that the people that lived on this mountain were very pious, and fairies also lived on the mountain. And the people were so pious and good people here that it drove the devil crazy. So he caused a storm with thunder and lightning and landslides. And then following the storm, he enchanted and cast a spell on the water in the two springs so that whoever would drink it would lose their mind, which the mountain people did. And after having lost their minds, a brother and sister fell in love and were to be married. And the fairies of the mountain asked for God's help because they didn't want incest to happen. And then at noon on the wedding day, when all the guests were gathered, God struck with a super bolt of lightning and turned all the wedding guests into stone. And then here we're looking at those wedding guests. And that's the folklore of this. Roxanne is down on the first platform, and I've come up to the second platform for a better view. And there are the rock formations of the Devil's Town. The second folklore story about these rock formations is that there was a witch that lived on the mountain. And when the people of the mountain wanted their wishes granted, the witch would grant their wishes. But then the witch said in return that when she demanded something in return, the people would have to give her whatever it is she asked for in return. And the people, when they were asked by the witch to give in return, who went and hid and tried to not give back, the witch turned into stone. And on the tops of the columns there are rocks which resemble the image of a head. And there's about 200 of these rock structures that are anywhere from 2 to 15 meters in height. And I think we're only lucky enough to see a few of them. We are up high here. I'm standing on a lookout to see the structures on both sides of the hill. The first ones we saw from down below, and we came up the stairs to see these ones. And these range from 1/2 meter wide to 2 meters wide, 2 to 3 meters wide. Or no, sorry, from 2 meters high to 15 meters high. That's what we read.
On the way down from viewing the rock formations at the top, we stopped at St. Pekka's church, which is a church that was built in 2008, and it was built using the remains of the previous church that had been built there in the 13th century. The folklore of this church is that it was built in the 13th century by a gravely ill man who then spent the next 7 days on that spot, and on the 8th day he woke up completely healed. And to preserve this folklore, the current church at Devil's Town gives out white pieces of cloth, and it's said that if people touch a sore spot and make a recovery wish, and then tie that cloth to the tree outside the church, that cloth will remain on the tree for 7 days. On the 7th day it's removed and then buried on the 8th day. And with it being buried in the ground, the illness goes with it. We didn't have the opportunity to do that process because the church was under construction. So we were only able to view the church at the time. But if you're visiting Devil's Town and the opportunity is there for you to do this, we'd encourage you to try that out.
At the entrance to Devil's Town is where you buy your ticket, with a creek running, and there's a restaurant, washrooms, and so on. So our entrance in here was 700 dinar, so I guess it was 350 dinar per person.
After having seen Devil's Town and returning to Prolam Banja in the taxi, we had some time to spend before our return bus to Niš. And in Prolam Banja, across the river, we saw this beautiful looking church. So we decided to cross the bridge and go see this church, and we're glad we did. That the church was called the Holy Transfiguration of the Lord Orthodox Church. And we were glad for having gone to see it, because inside the church there was incredible artwork and murals inside the church. It was just a small church, but a very, very beautiful church. So if you happen to be in Prolam Banja and you have a chance to see that church, we'd highly recommend it.
Hey everybody, Roxanne and Len here on a cold day in Niš.
we're just going to tell you about our day of exploring to go see the place called Devil's Town, which the other term for it is Davolja Varos. I probably didn't pronounce that right, but that's the other term for it. We just wanted to tell you what we thought of it. It was kind of an excursion more than just walking out and seeing something. We actually had to. There was.
It was eventful.
Yeah,
it was eventful.
We looked at the idea of tours, but there didn't seem to be anything available other than out of Belgrade, which was not where we were, and even if we were, it was a highly expensive way to see it. So what we ended up doing was we got through the Nice Express bus line, we got tickets to and from a place called Banja, which is the town closest to Devil's Town. And that cost us about the equivalent of about $55 Canadian for both tickets, for both
round
of
trip.
us. And then once we were in Banja, then we had a taxi take us to and from Devil's Town, and that cost us about
52 Canadian dollars.
52 Canadian dollars. And then at the
entrance
site,
fee.
The entrance fee was 700 dinar, which was about $9 Canadian. So I'm not sure on the math on that, but it was kind of an expensive day.
Yeah.
Which we didn't anticipate that quite high a cost. And in terms of value for dollar, we thought it was a little expensive for the site, what we saw, mainly because when we took the taxi, our taxi driver was only willing to wait for an hour
and 15 minutes.
And 15 minutes. So we were, before he drove us back. So we were kind of rushed seeing it, and we would have felt better about the whole experience if we would have had like a couple hours to spend there. That would have been about the perfect amount of time to see it.
As it was, we were probably there an hour and a half, and I think another half hour would have been perfect for us.
Yeah.
But they say you could do it in 40 minutes. I'm not sure how you could have done it and enjoyed it, but people, I guess, is what they're recommending. I would say 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours.
And if you are making the trip, try to arrange it so that you're not rushed and you have proper time to see it and take it in. You could do it in that short time if all you did is you walked it, took half a dozen pictures and walked out.
Yeah.
But I don't think you want to go through the effort of going all the way to see it in 45 minutes and turn around and come back. And it was nice. It was nice to see. It was a nice day. And to mention on the schedule, if you're going to do it the same way we did, we caught a 5:30 bus leaving Nice, 5:30 a.m. And then the return bus from Banja was at 2:10 p.m., which gave us just enough time to explore Banja a bit. We saw a really nice church that's across the river from where we got off the bus, and we also had time to have a really nice buffet lunch. So thanks for joining us on our trip to see the Devil. If you enjoyed this video or any of our other videos, please subscribe, give us the thumbs up, and if you have any comments, leave them below. We always appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for watching.